Hey, Slater Crusaders, welcome back. This is exactly what we were just talking about. Trump just tweeted this out on his Instagram and Twitter. This is Trump bringing the tribe closer together, right? Telling his tribe that we're under attack, unite, and don't let them win. It's a brilliant move, which leads to the second untruth that's in this book, The Coddling of the American Mind. And that is that a lot of people believe that life is a battle between good people and evil people. That life is a battle between good people and evil people. I think there is good and evil, no doubt about it, right? When Jesus told Peter, "Get behind me, Satan," I don't believe he was calling Peter Satan. I think he was talking to Satan, who was using Peter's worldly thoughts to tempt Jesus. But that didn't make Peter an evil person. And it's true with our daily interactions as well. We think there's good people and bad people. And in politics, we go to the extreme of good people and bad people. And I don't think that's necessarily true. And it just makes everything a catastrophe, as we talked about in our last segment. It makes the stakes way higher than they need to be. Now, it makes sense that we do this because we are wired for tribalism. I want to talk about that a little bit here because we talk about this a lot on our show. I think it's fundamental to understanding politics today. Absolutely fundamental. You want to make sense of the craziness that's going on today, you got to understand tribalism. So I have two studies here that they talk about in this book to prove how wired we are for tribal thinking. The first is from a psychologist named Henri Tageville. So this guy served in the French army during World War II. He was a POW in Germany. His entire family was murdered in Poland by the Nazis for being Jewish. So this guy was understandably obsessed with answering the question, how could otherwise good, normal, decent people do such horrible things to each other and do horrible things to their neighbors? So he set up many experiments. There was one in particular in the 60s, and he divided people into two groups based on the most meaningless and arbitrary ways possible, like flipping a coin. Right? So he'd flip a coin and say, all right, you're heads, you're in the heads group, you're tails, you're in the tails group. Right? In one version of the study, he had people guess the number of dots on a piece of paper. And it didn't even matter what they said. He put one group over there and called them the overestimators. And then he put another group over there and called them the underestimators. Okay, and it was totally random, didn't mean anything. Then he had everyone distribute money to other people or he had certain people distribute money to everyone else in the experiment. And he found that no matter how trivial, or in his words, minimal, he made the distinction between the groups, right? Heads group over there, tails group over there. No matter how minimal he made the distinction, people tended to distribute money or points or whatever they were told to distribute more to people in their in-group. Right? So this shows how wired we are for tribal allegiance, even if the allegiance is based off of nothing. Nothing. Something as flimsy and meaningless as, oh, you're in the heads group? Me too. I'm in the heads group as well. What? I'll never forget this analysis from Adam Carolla. Years ago, I heard this. And he was talking about skin color. And skin color is the default thing we use to analyze our tribal membership. It's the default thing because it's the easiest to see, right? So that's why people are obsessed with it, because it's the easiest to see. So his example was, if you're watching a boxing match, and you got a black guy versus a white guy boxing, he said black people are going to root for the black guy, white people are going to root for the white guy. Right? That's just the basic knee-jerk default reaction. I'm white, he's white, black, that doesn't, right? But then, as soon as you find out, let's say you're white, as soon as you find out that black guy went to your high school, oh, you're obviously going to root for the black guy now. Like that's, of course you're going to root for him, because now you have a new tribal association. And really, any connection to that black boxer will trump whatever default super shallow tribal connection you have based off of skin color. If you went to the same high school, if you're from the same state, certainly if you're from the same country, right? Let's say the black guy's from America and he's fighting a white guy from Russia or whatever. Like, obviously you're going to vote for the black guy now, right? And it could be anything. It truly doesn't matter what the connection is. Anything trumps skin color association. Skin color association is just that default because it's the easiest to see. But again, the point is our brains are wired to establish tribes. And this is all politics has become. I'll give you one more study. So some neuroscientists, they hooked people up to an MRI machine, and they watched their brain reactions. And the people who are hooked up to the MRI, they watched videos of people's hands, people's fingers, getting pricked by either a needle or a Q-tip. So they would take, let's say, take a Christian guy, put him in the machine, the MRI machine, and if this person was watching a video of a Christian's finger get poked with a needle, then that person's brain went crazy. They felt more pain because they were watching someone in their tribal group experience pain. You're thinking, okay, well, that's a deep membership, right? We're fellow Christians, we're brothers. Okay, so they did it again. But this time, they flipped coins to divide people into groups. Just like we talked about in the last experiment. And they say, oh, you're in the heads group and you're in the tails group. So they had someone who's in the heads group get in the MRI machine, and they watched a video of someone who was also in the heads group get their finger pricked. And their brains went crazy just the same. Because, oh, well, that's someone in my tribe. What tribe? The people who flipped heads a second ago? Oh, that's your tribal membership? That ridiculous tribal membership that was established like 5 minutes ago? But that's how wired we are for it. Now, it's good to belong to a tribe. Tribe is what gives you trust and purpose and meaning and unity and a feeling of contribution. There's a lot of good things. But the flip side is that it's easier to other people from a different tribe. And then we tend not to see the problems within our own tribe. The term is, it binds and blinds. So a tribe makes us bound to each other, which is good, but it often makes us also blinded to our own problems. This is why, again, to bring it back to politics, this is why the Trump-Ukraine president phone call, if you're in the Democratic tribe, it's the worst thing you've ever seen. It's the worst phone call. So on a severity scale, 0 to 10, 10 being the Democrats are 10. They're, it's a threat to the Republic's future, right? It's the worst phone call ever. And if you're in the Trump tribe, it's a 0. It's the greatest phone call that's ever been made.